My name's Karen, I'm 22. I study herbology and natural therapies, and I work a lot with sacred plants, with altered states, with shamanic ceremonies. I have begun an apprenticeship with the shaman in Peru, working with ayahuasca in particular and learning how to heal with those plants.
My name is Tulani Zwane, or other people call me Pumshaka, but that's another story. I'm a dancer. I've trained with Moving Into Dance, Mupadong, which is in Newtown, and I've performed with African Footprints, which is a musical, and I've also taught African dance at National School of the Arts for 3 years.
I think the trance parties, psychedelic trance, is connected to shamanism in many ways. It's the repetitive beat is a huge part of it, which alone can induce altered states. It attracts a group of people who are interested in altered states. There's a lot of use of substances which produce altered states. The community itself is very open to people having extreme experiences which you couldn't have in a space that wasn't filled with people who have been through similar things. The parties create an atmosphere where it's safe for you to delve into your mind using psychedelics, using music, if it's just something that you can do without that. But they create a space where you can get in touch with those energies if you want to. The drumming is used, a repetitive rhythm is played on it. And by listening and focusing on that rhythm, it allows you to enter into an altered state. In that state, visions are possible, travel is possible. Similar to working with plants, one can enter into a place where you can interact with spirits, interact with a vast number of alive entities, gain wisdom, gain healing, insight.
At times, you find solutions into questions as a performer. Let's say you're trying to find, you've got a concept and you're going deeper into a concept up until you find solutions or you find other questions and answers at the same time.
Prepare yourself.
Well, the music being a repetitive beat on, loud. I mean, that alters your brain waves and gives you a feeling of euphoria, or you can get like spaced out.
It's a journey that you want to go through, and it takes you as long as it takes you.
The movements with that are generally very repetitive, very like almost rigid in a way. Like people stomp a lot and like will stay in the same position for hours doing the same movements, which is like a form of meditation.
Most of the things, you know, it comes from repetition.
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 A repetitive rhythm is played on it.
Repetition, repetition. So if you dance, you can also
Become disconnected with ordinary thinking, ordinary reality, and gain access into a different site, a different level of emotions, a different level of feelings. It can create a space for people to have a shamanic journey, in a sense. I think, again, it completely depends on the intention of the person doing it and the awareness of the person doing it. I think if you went into a space like that with the intention to have a journey, whether you are taking something or not, just the music and the movement is enough to induce an altered state if you wish for it to do that. Different traditions and different shamans use slightly different methods. The singing is the main part of it. The songs they sing are from spirit, from the different world, the other world. Very powerful medicine songs. There's often a chakapa, which is like a rattle made from leaves, which they use. They just shake it. It's supposedly powerful medicine on its own. It is powerful medicine on its own. Some use guitars, some use the different tribal instruments. There's no sort of limit to what they can use. With my experience and with my teacher, he only uses his voice and the chakapa, and that's more than enough to take you very far.
I'm a singer also, so I sing and I dance. You cannot take away my singing and my dancing and separate them. So most of the time they just go together, you understand? So doesn't matter whether I'm at church or whether I'm on stage. It just takes me there, you know.
Generally one leader, the shaman, will play the drum, while others will just sit or lie down in silence. A repetitive beat is played for about 20 minutes, and in which you go on your journey. The intention of your journey is very important. A goal, something to reach, something to focus on throughout.
Every time when I hear drum, doesn't matter whether it's in drumming from the Sutus or drumming from the Zulus, but just as long as I hear music and drumming, I just want to keep moving, and I keep moving up until I get to that state, you know.
With my experience, taking ayahuasca, it's inevitable. It puts you in that position where you are open. Like, there's no hiding from the state that you're in. Working with the drumming, and you're not taking anything, it's a lot easier to drift off. You need to be focused and you need to practice. With the trance party, you would have to have extreme focus to be able to get into that state using just repetitive beat. With the party, there's so much distraction. There's lights, there's people around you, there's other noises, there's people going crazy. And to be able to stay focused and get into an altered state in that vibe would take a lot of practice, a lot of commitment. It's a very abstract way to go about it. But one of the most important things, I feel, is to have focus, to have an intention, to have very clear motives of why you're doing it, and stick to that throughout the journey. And keep pulling yourself back if you do get distracted. Just stick with it. These are Hawaiian baby widows. They contain LSA, which is their active ingredient, similar to LSD. Not to take away from the effects of LSD, but LSA acts on different parts of your body, on different parts of the brain, and produces a more full effect, whereas LSD, synthesized compound, acts on very specific parts of your brain and produces very specific effect. Ayahuasca, from South America, it's been used for thousands of years as a sacrament, as a form of divination, and primarily as a mode of healing. Used by shamans and under the guidance of shamans only, produces extremely powerful effects. It's a purgative on many levels. You can throw up, you can sweat, you can cry. There's many levels of purging, but it gets what it needs to out of your body to put you in a state of health. It heals on every level. My experience with ayahuasca left me feeling more human, more healthy, and more whole than I've ever felt without it. And those feelings last. Those lessons are remembered and integrated into everyday life afterwards. And these plants are Salvia divinorum. They contain salvinorin A and salvinorin B, which is at the moment the most powerful naturally forming hallucinogen known to man. The leaves are chewed traditionally, 10 to 20 leaves, to produce a powerful state of visions, of altered state. In our culture, extracts are made from the leaves and smoked. This produces an extremely fast, extremely powerful high. Complete loss of this reality comes on within about 10 seconds, and a whole nother world reveals itself to you. All of these are legal, by the way.